Okay guys, so this is review day 2 and it is volume. Okay, we are finding the volume of like what looks like a box. So that would be, we are using from the bottom, that would be number 12. Volume is length times width times height. So basically you have to find the area of the base. So area of the base is length times width, so that'd be 8 times 14. And then whatever answer you get, you multiply it by the height. That's how you find volume. So that's why volume, if we redo it, is length times width times height, which is 8 times 14 times 23. So the volume is, I don't have my calculator, 8 times 14 times 23. And we get 2,576 inches cubed. Now we're in cubed. Okay, for number 2, this is a triangular prism. So that would be number 13. And it says that the volume is base times height, but capital B. Capital B means you have to find the area of the base. So you have to find the area of the triangle. So if you want the area of the triangle, you got to go back to number 2. You got to find the area of the triangle and then multiply it by the height of the prism. Alright, so if we come over here, the area of the triangle would be this triangle. Okay, what's the base? The base is 9. And then what's the height? The height is 7.6. So the area of the triangle is 1/2 base times height. That comes from formula number 2. 1/2 base is 9 and height is 7.6. Alright, so 1/2 9 times 7. So we get the area of the triangle is 34.2 feet squared. That's just the area of the triangle. Now if we want the volume of the whole shape, we still have to multiply it by the height. So the height would be like how long it is. It'd be this size. And it's the same side as this one. It's the same length, and it's the same length over here. And they all measure 13. So we're going to take that number. The volume is capital B times height. This is capital B, the area of the triangle, 34.2, and then now multiply by 13. 34.2 times 13. And we get 444.6 feet cubed. Okay, again, area is squared, but volume is cubed. The cylinder. Okay, the cylinder would be this one. Area is pi r squared times the height. I mean, not area, volume. Volume is pi r squared times the height. Okay, the radius is 1/2 of 14, so it's 7 yards. So right here, we're going to put a 7, and for the height, it's how tall it is, so it's 18. So in here we put 18. So it'd be pi 7 squared times 18. And we get 2,070.9 yards cubed. Okay, that's a sphere. So that'd be number 17, and it's going to be 4/3 pi r cubed. So for this one, it's 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, the radius, again, would be 1/2, so it's 11 millimeters. So right here, we're going to put 11. So it'd be 4/3 pi 11 cubed. 4/3, multiply that by pi, multiply by 11, and that has to be cubed. And we get the volume is 5575.3 millimeters cubed. A cone. Okay, if we look at the formula sheet for a cone, that would be 1/3 pi r squared times the height. Notice how the radius and the height make a 90. So those are r and squared. So 1/3 pi r squared height. 1/3 pi r squared and height. Volume is 1/3 pi r squared and height. Alright, so this is the radius, 7.2. but the height we do not have. The height would be the one that connects to the radius and makes a 90. So we need to make a right triangle, and then we need to do Pythagorean theorem. So hopefully you can see the right triangle now. We are going to put a plus sign in the 90, so it means we add these two. They all get squared. So it's x squared plus 7.2 squared equals 17 squared. Okay, we subtract 7.2 squared. We subtract 7.2 squared. We plug this into the calculator. 17 squared minus 7.2 squared. And we get 237.16, and then square root. Okay, square root of 237.16. And we get 15.4. So the height, this part right here, is 15.4. So now we know that the height of the cone is 15.4. And now we can finish it. 1/3 pi 7.2 squared times the height, 15.4. And then we plug all that in. 1/3 pi 7.2 squared and 15.4. And we get volume is 836.01. So I'll just leave it as 0 meters cubed. Okay, we have a triangle, not a triangular prism, a square prism, a square pyramid, or a rectangular pyramid, or a square pyramid. So it's 1/3 capital B and height. Again, capital B means you need to find the area of the base. And because it's a rectangle or a square, that means we're going to use this one, length times width. 1/3 capital B and height. Okay, so over here, 1/3 capital B times height. That's a 3. Okay, the area of the base is a rectangle, and that's just length times width. You just multiply 20 times 20. So that'd be 1/3, and 20 times 20 is 400. And then the height, how tall it is, well, it is 10.5 because it does have that 90. So that is the height. The height is 10.5. And we just multiply them all. So 1/3 times 400 times 10.5. And we get 1,400 inches cubed. Alright, for the back, you are finding the area and the circumference. Okay, so we should be looking at this part. We are finding the circumference, which is 2 pi r, and the area, pi r squared. Okay, so circumference, 2 pi r. Okay, we know the radius is 4.2, so you're just going to put 4.2 right there. So it's 2 times pi times 4.2. So the circumference, 2 pi and 4.2. And we get 26.38, so that's 4 yards. Okay, it does not have squared. Perimeter does not have squared. That just means that's how long it is around the edge. Like if you put a string around, just right here, you would need 26.4 yards. Area is pi r squared. So again, for r is 4.2, so it's pi 4.2 squared. Okay, anyways, pi 4.2 squared, 55.4, and this is yards squared. This is how much space there is inside. My gosh. All right, so number 8, find the circumference. Okay, if the circumference is this. Okay, circumference. If they said the circumference is that, they mean the answer to circumference is 39.96. So you need to start with the formula for circumference. So that's 2 pi r. And then where you see c, you erase it and you put 39.96. And now you solve for r. That's the only variable we have. So 2 times pi times r. So what's the opposite? You need to move the 2 and the pi They are multiplying, so the opposite is to divide by 2 pi. You can divide by 2 and then divide by pi, or divide by both. So in the calculator, 39.96 divided by 2 pi. And we get 6.4. So the radius is 6.4 because it was 6.35. And now we already know the answer to circumference because the directions were to find the circumference. And now we need the area. Area is pi r squared. So right here we put 6.4 because we just found that the radius is 6.4. So it's pi 6.4 squared. And we get 128.67, so that I'm going to round it to 7. And that would be inches squared. And the radius was just inches, normal inches. The area, okay, if they tell you area, that means you have to start with the formula for area, pi r squared. And where you see an A, you're going to put the answer, 58.09. And then you solve for r. It's multiplying by pi, so you got to divide by pi. Okay, 58.09 divided by pi is 18.49. Last step, take the square root so we can get rid of that squared. So square root 18. And we get r is 4.3. The radius is 4.3. So now that we know what the radius is, we already know the answer to the area because they told you from the beginning. Okay, they told you right here. We still need to find circumference, 2 pi r. So in the radius, we put 4.3 because we just found the radius is 4.3. 2 pi and 4.3. 2 pi and 4.3. So the area, the circumference is 27.01. So I'll just put 27. And that would be meters. Area has a squared, circumference does not. Okay, for the last 3 problems, you are finding the area, and you're technically also finding the circumference. Circumference is perimeter, so you're finding the perimeter because you need it in the formula. All right, so for these, you were supposed to write the number 7.1, 5.3, and they're meters for all of them, and then 4 meters for the triangle. All right, so for this one, the area of the shape, if you want to find the area of the shape, you're going to do 1/2 A times P. A is the one that goes from the middle to the middle of a side. So that'd be this one right here because it's going to the middle and it makes a 90-degree box. This is A. So we already know in A, we're going to put 7.1. Now we need the perimeter. Perimeter is when you add this one, plus this one, plus this one, plus this one, plus this one, and this one. Perimeter is when you add them all up. It's basically the circumference. That's what circumference is too of a circle, but this is like, they're not round, so it's called perimeter. Okay, so for that, we're going to make a 90-degree, we're going to make a right triangle. Okay, we need to know how many degrees there are in the shape. Okay, there's 1 angle, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 angles, 6 interior angles. So for that, we need the formula n minus 2 times 180. Okay, how many angles do we have? 6. So 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 times 180 is 720. This shape has 720 degrees. It means those blue angles add up to 720. So how much is each one? Divided by 6, because there's 6 of them. Each of them is 120. It means this one's 120 and this one's 120. They're all 120. But what happened was when we came to this spot, we cut it in half. So there's 60. It's 60 on each side. And I don't really care about this one. I care about the one inside the triangle. So it means my triangle looks like this. And what do I care to find from the triangle? I care to find the outside. This is what we're trying to look for. We actually don't care about the diagonal because that's inside the triangle and we don't need that. So we don't care about that. So I'm going to put an X on this side. You can do it with tangent, SOHCAHTOA, or special right triangles. So for a special right triangle, because this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, you're just coming back. you divide by radical 3. So in the calculator, you put 7.1 divided by radical 3, and you'll get the answer. All right, so let's put that in. 7.1 divided by square root 3, and it would be 4.1. That's the answer. If you don't know how to do that, then we're going to do it with SOHCAHTOA. Okay, SOHCAHTOA means we first label the triangle. This is the hypotenuse, the long one. Across from 60 is opposite, so this is O, and next to 60 is adjacent. The word adjacent means next to. We don't care about the diagonal. So we need O and A. The one O and A is TOA, it's tangent. So you're going to do tangent, put the degree, 60 degrees, equals opposite, O on top and A on the bottom, because it's TOA. So it'd be 7.1 and X. And now we solve for X. When X is on the bottom, these two switch places, or you can do your math. So it's still a fraction. 7.1 is still at the top, but tan 60 goes to the bottom. And we type this in the calculator, 7.1 divided by tan 60. Make sure your calculator is in degrees, or if not, it doesn't work. 7.1 divided by tan 60. And again, we get 4.1. Same thing, you get 4.099, so that's 4.1. So it means this right here measures 4.1. So it means right here it measures 4.1. So how do you know how long the whole side is? Well, you need to double it, because this is another 4.1. So you do 4.1 plus 4.1, and for the whole side, you get 8.2. So now we need perimeter. So it means if you'd add 8.2 plus 8.2 plus 8.2 plus 8.2 plus 8.2 plus 8.2 6 times, or multiply it by 6, the perimeter is 49.2. So that's the number that goes in here, 49.2. And now we have the formula. The formula is area equals 1/2 A and P. A was 7.1 and P is 49.2. We plug it in and we know our area of the hexagon. 1/2 times 7.1 times 49.2, and we get 174.66. So I'm going to round it to 7 meters squared. Okay, a square, again, make a right triangle, or you can go this way. Well, I think I'll do that one. Again, you got to do the formula. N minus 2 times 180. N is how many sides there are. This shape has 4, so it's 4 minus 2 times 180. And if you plug that in the calculator, it'll say 360. It means all the angles, this one plus this one plus this one plus this one, make 360. So if you divide it by 4, because there's 4 of them, they're each 90. So they're each little boxes, they're each 90. But what happens when you come to this corner is we just cut it in half. So 90 divided by 2 is 45. So they're both 45 degrees. Now I don't care about the one outside the triangle. So this is also 45. So to be honest, if you did use special triangles, you should figure out very quickly that this 45 goes to 5.3 and this 45 goes to this side. If they're both 45, means they're both the same size. So actually it's 5.3 and you're done. And that's realizing special triangles. If you don't realize that they're the same, then you can do your SOHCAHTOA. This is 45. This is 5.3. And we are looking for the outside. We care about this side. Again, 45 to 5.3 is opposite. This side to 45, the X would be adjacent. So again, you have to use tangent because it has an O and an A. Tan of 45 equals O on top, 5.3, A on the bottom, X. Solve for X. Since X is at the bottom, they switch places. So it's X, 5.3, and tan 45 on the bottom. Plug that into the calculator. Make sure you set it to degrees. So 5.3 divided by tan 45. And again, you get 5.3. You get the same answer. So over here, it is 5.3. So right here, it's 5.3. But then you have another 5.3. Because this is the same triangle. If you drew a triangle this way, it'd be the same one, so you get the same answer. So 5.3 plus 5.3 is 10.6. And now you need to find the perimeter. Perimeter is 10.6 plus 10.6 plus 10.6 plus 10.6. So 10.6 times 4, and that's 42.4. And A, the apothem, is the one that goes from the middle to the middle of a side and makes a 90. So that's 5.3. This is A. So A is 5.3, and then now we can plug it in. A equals 1/2 A and P, so 5.3 and 42.4. So 1/2 times 5.3 times 42.4. And we get 112.36, which is 4 meters squared. All right, for the last one, okay, this shape is a triangle. So if you don't know how many degrees a triangle has, use the formula, n minus 2 times 180. How many sides does a triangle have? 3. So you would put a 3 in this spot. 3 minus 2 times 180, so the answer is 180. It means that they add up, this one plus this one plus this one add up to 180. But how much is each one? Divided by 3. They're each 60. Okay, so it means they're each 60. So this one's 60 degrees, this one's 60 degrees. But when we come to the top one, if we do make our right triangle, because we're supposed to go straight, then the top one is 60. But then you cut it in half, so then it means it's 30. We get 30. All right, so you can use special triangles. Okay, special triangles would mean if I draw it, this is 90, this is 30, you know this is 4. We care to find the outside of the triangle, so this is what we're trying to find. Okay, this is what we're trying to find, so that'd be this side. If you already know the side from 30, then to go that way, you multiply by radical 3. So it'd be 4 times radical 3, and then you get your answer. If you don't know that, then you're going to have to do SOHCAHTOA. Okay, for SOHCAHTOA, you label the sides. 30 to the 4 is opposite. Next to 30 is A. So again, it's tangent. Tangent 30 degrees is opposite 4 and adjacent x. You saw for x, they switch places, so x equals 4 divided by tan 30. And you plug that into the calculator. So 4 times square root 3 is 6.92. And if you did 4 divided by tan 30, you get the same answer, 6.92. So I'm going to put 6.9. It means this side measures 6.9. Or this side measures 6.9. Now you need to double it because there's another 6.9 over here. So 6.9 plus 6.9, and it's 13.8. Now find the perimeter. Perimeter is 13.8 plus 13.8 plus 13.8 because there's 3 of them. Perimeter is 41.4, and the apothem is the one that goes from the middle, from the center to the middle of a side, and it has a 90, so that one's 4. This is the apothem A. And now we have everything. Area equals 1/2 A and P, so 4 and 41.4. So the final answer would be 1/2 times 4 times 41.4. And we get area equals 82.8, and that was meters squared. All right, so there you go. That's the full review. You have 2 days of review. Make sure you're ready.